She is the most insecure person I have seen in the public eye in a long time. That is why everything had to be perfectly curated.
All right, big news in the world of entertainment. Netflix has decided it will not renew its deal with Prince Harry and Meghan. It looks like the $100 million multi-year contract with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Brian, this is a terrible idea. We could change the course of history.
You always say that, but doesn't history pretty much suck? I mean, the Crusades, Hitler.
Prince Harry marrying Meghan Markle.
Again? Oh, like all of your wives are so much better.
They say Hollywood loves a comeback story, but what happens when someone becomes the story everyone wants to avoid? Meghan Markle walked into Tinseltown thinking her royal credentials were a golden ticket to entertainment empire building. Instead, she's become the cautionary tale agents whisper about in conference rooms. The woman who once had Netflix and Spotify throwing millions at her feet now finds herself in a position where major platforms are quietly backing away.
It's not bad. The ratings are in for Meghan's Netflix cooking show that was called With Love, Meghan. It was a massive flop, Kinsey. It came in at 383rd in Netflix's most views. Even Spotify being sacked for the enormous deal this couple got.
Spotify, yes. A huge group of employees lost their jobs, and they were super angry over Harry and Meghan's deal because they felt like it was in part due to Harry and Meghan's deal.
This isn't just about bad reviews or low ratings. This is about something far more damaging in Hollywood, being labeled unworkable. And when that reputation spreads in an industry built on relationships and trust, even royal titles can't save you from becoming persona non grata. The numbers don't lie, and they're absolutely brutal for Meghan's media empire. When Netflix released their viewing data with Love, Meghan didn't just underperform, it crashed and burned in spectacular fashion.
Who the hell picks fucking berries in a white cashmere blouse and white pants? Literally no one on earth does that.
And don't forget your local beekeeper.
Yeah.
Your local beekeeper.
Oh, yeah, because she has a bee hive, which she goes, that's how they open the whole series with her bees. And like, don't worry, if you don't have this, just go to your local beekeeper. Clearly, we're living in different worlds.
The lifestyle cooking show that was supposed to showcase Meghan's sophistication and cultural awareness instead landed at position 383 on Netflix's own internal rankings.
Yeah, I just knew that the second I got on an airplane back to Los Angeles, you know what would hit the fan. And it did.
Yeah, it certainly did. Well, of course.
Every move she's made over the last 5 years has been totally selfish. And she wasn't thinking about her partners at Netflix. She wasn't thinking about Prince Harry. She wasn't thinking about Thomas Markle, her children, or the British royal family. It's all been about stomping on other people to elevate herself.
And, of course, With Love, Meghan didn't even make the top 300, 383rd that came in. Humiliating, embarrassing. It's a flop.
They have no clue what they're doing.
There's no way anybody in the television industry goes, fantastic, we came 383rd in the charts. That is a mega flop. It's a Meghan flop, in fact.
To put that in perspective, old episodes of Suits, the legal drama that originally launched Meghan's career, consistently outperformed her new show by massive margins. Industry insiders started calling it the streaming equivalent of expensive wallpaper. Pretty to look at from a distance, but completely forgettable the moment you turn away. The production budget was rumored to be in the millions, with Netflix investing heavily in marketing campaigns, celebrity guest appearances, and high-end production values. But all that money couldn't buy what Meghan's content fundamentally lacked: genuine viewer engagement and authentic storytelling that resonated with audiences beyond surface-level aesthetics. What makes this failure even more stinging is what reportedly happened behind the scenes during production. Multiple sources within the industry have painted a picture of a star who wasn't just difficult to work with, but actively resistant to the collaborative process that makes successful television. Netflix executives allegedly spent months trying to guide the show towards something more commercially viable, suggesting everything from format changes to narrative adjustments that might connect better with viewers. But according to leaked reports, Meghan treated every piece of constructive criticism like a personal attack on her vision. She insisted on maintaining creative control over elements that seasoned producers knew wouldn't work, from pacing issues that killed momentum to cultural segments that came across as superficial rather than respectful. The tension got so bad that some crew members reportedly started requesting transfers to other projects. This wasn't just creative differences. This was someone who seemed more interested in protecting their brand image than creating compelling content that audiences would actually want to watch. But Netflix wasn't Meghan's first major media failure, and that's what makes her current situation so precarious. Her Spotify podcast Archetypes was supposed to be a groundbreaking exploration of female empowerment and societal expectations. Instead, it became a masterclass in how to burn bridges with one of the most powerful platforms in audio entertainment. The podcast managed just one season before Spotify decided not to renew their reportedly $20 million deal with Archwell Audio. The cancellation wasn't handled with the usual corporate politeness either. Spotify executive Bill Simmons publicly called Harry and Meghan fudding grifters in what became one of the most brutal corporate breakups in recent memory. The podcast itself was criticized for being exactly what audiences had grown tired of: vague inspirational speak wrapped in celebrity interviews that felt more like therapy sessions than entertainment. Episodes dragged with repetitive messaging about empowerment without offering concrete insights or genuine vulnerability that might have created real connection with listeners. The Spotify disaster revealed something crucial about Meghan's approach to media that would later plague her Netflix venture. She seemed more focused on crafting a perfect public image than creating content people actually wanted to consume. Industry insiders began whispering that working with her was like trying to direct someone who was constantly performing for an invisible camera, even when the real cameras weren't rolling. Sources claimed she would spend excessive time on image management details while showing little interest in the nuts and bolts of content creation that actually determine whether shows succeed or fail. This obsession with controlling her narrative began affecting her professional relationships across multiple platforms. Agents started describing her as someone who needed to be surrounded by experienced handlers just to get through basic production meetings. The entertainment industry thrives on efficiency and collaboration, but Meghan's approach seemed to prioritize her personal brand protection over the practical demands of creating successful content. What's particularly damaging for Meghan's future prospects is how quickly her reputation shifted from intriguing to toxic within entertainment circles. Hollywood has always been willing to work with difficult personalities if they deliver results, but Meghan represents the worst possible combination: high maintenance with low returns. Recent reports suggest that Netflix is unlikely to renew her production deal when it expires, not because they hate her personally, but because the business case simply doesn't exist anymore. The streaming giant invested heavily in the Sussex brand, thinking their royal connection would translate into must-watch content, but instead, they got programming that felt more like expensive PR exercises than genuine entertainment. Industry executives have reportedly started using her projects as examples of what happens when celebrity status isn't backed up by content creation skills or audience awareness. The brutal truth is that viewers can sense authenticity, and Meghan's content consistently feels calculated rather than genuine. This authenticity problem goes deeper than just bad reviews or low viewership numbers. Audiences today, especially younger demographics that streaming platforms desperately want to capture, have become incredibly sophisticated at detecting when someone is performing rather than being real. Meghan's content consistently feels like it's been focus grouped and polished to the point where all personality has been sanitized away. Her cooking show segments felt more like lifestyle brand advertisements than genuine cultural exploration. Her podcast interviews sounded more like carefully scripted conversations than authentic discussions about real issues. Even her body language and speech patterns in these productions come across as overly rehearsed, like someone who's constantly aware they're being watched and judged. This creates a fundamental disconnect with audiences who are hungry for content creators who feel human and relatable, not like walking marketing campaigns trying to sell them a lifestyle they can't afford or relate to. The trajectory from must-book celebrity to industry caution is happening faster than anyone predicted. Just 2 years ago, Meghan's name alone could generate headlines and open doors across the entertainment industry. Now, those same doors are quietly closing as platforms reassess whether the Sussex brand actually delivers the engagement and revenue they initially promised. The shift has been so dramatic that some talent agents have reportedly started using her career as a case study in how quickly things can go wrong when celebrity status isn't backed up by actual content creation skills. Her story serves as a reminder that in today's entertainment landscape, audiences have more choices than ever before, and they're increasingly unwilling to waste time on content that feels inauthentic or self-serving. The royal connection that once seemed like such a powerful asset has become almost irrelevant when the core product, the actual shows and podcasts, fails to connect with viewers on a basic entertainment level. So, where does this leave Meghan Markle in an industry that's already moved on to the next big thing? The harsh reality is that Hollywood has a short memory for failures, but a long memory for people who are difficult to work with. Her media empire dreams have collided with the unforgiving mathematics of engagement metrics and audience retention rates. The platforms that once courted her with massive deals are now quietly distancing themselves, not out of personal animosity, but because the numbers simply don't justify continued investment. The illusion of the Sussex brand as a guaranteed audience draw has been shattered by the reality of viewer behavior and industry economics. What remains is a cautionary tale about how quickly celebrity status can evaporate when it's not supported by genuine talent, authentic connection with audiences, or even basic professional collaboration skills. The spotlight has moved on, the empire has cracked, and Hollywood has started whispering what audiences have known for a while. The Markle magic was always more marketing than substance, and even the best marketing can't sell a product that fundamentally doesn't work.